You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode number 215.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. Today is March 25th, 2025. It's a Tuesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. It's also the 31st anniversary of me graduating from Marine Corps boot camp.
Oh, congratulations.
Can't believe it was 31 years ago.
You owed.
I am owed. I am your host, Greg Mengel, and I love Central Indiana sports, coming to you today from headquarters in Jeffersonville. Producer Susie sitting right next to me.
Hello. That
That's
sounded weird, didn't
that's the best you got.
it? Hello. How's that?
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, everyone. Coming up, we have NAIA and NCAA women's basketball, and the Pacers going for their fifth straight win. And the spring season is officially underway with number one lapel softball in action on Monday. But first, we're going to ask you to please go to our YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find, even if you're already following us or subscribed or whatever at SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, or Apple. Please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. We've had a lot of new subscribers lately. Really good to see that. Indiana Wesleyan's women will play for their third NAIA National Championship at 8 o'clock Tuesday against Dordt, Iowa, and Sioux City, Iowa. The Wildcats took down Briar Cliff, Iowa, 70-69 in Sioux City on Monday, overcoming a late first half 7-0 run that put the Chargers ahead 31-26 at the half. NAIA basketball is big in Iowa and Indiana, by the way. The Wildcats outscored the Chargers 19-11 to start the second half, but Dordt actually took a 61-60 lead with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. Maddie Lawrence's bucket with 1:41 left gave the Wildcats the lead for good. Indiana Wesleyan led by 6 with 19 seconds left after free throws by Lily Frazier and Taylor Folkema helped put the game away. The win puts IWU in the national championship game for the first time in 12 years. Frazier led the Wildcats with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Emily Mattingly had a huge impact on the game, going 3 for 6 from deep and finishing with 13 points. Folkema had 10 points and 8 rebounds, and Lawrence contributed 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals to the win. Indiana Wesleyan enters the national championship game at 34-2. Dordt is ranked number 1 and is the defending national champion. They beat Bethel, Tennessee 84-52 Monday by outscoring the Claws 48-24 in the second half. Cool name.
Very cool.
The Claws. You can find a link to watch the game at iwuwildcats.com. iwuwildcats.com.
Well done.
USC advanced to the Sweet 16 Monday, but it was not a good day for the top-ranked Trojans. National Player of the Year candidate Juju Watkins tore her ACL and is obviously out for the tournament. Number 1 seed Texas and number 2 seeds North Carolina State and UConn advanced, as well as USC on Monday. Also, Oklahoma ended Iowa's season. LSU blew past Florida State. North Carolina topped West Virginia, and Maryland got by Alabama in double overtime. The tournament restarts Friday with the regional semifinals, and it starts at 2:30 with North Carolina against Duke in Birmingham, followed by top seed South Carolina against Maryland. In Spokane, it'll be LSU, North Carolina State, and UCLA Ole Miss. 28-5 Notre Dame kicks off the day Saturday at 1 o'clock against 33-3 TCU. TCU is the 2 seed, Notre Dame the 3. The Pacers won their 5th straight game and perhaps their best all-around performance of the season, beating the Timberwolves 119-103 Monday at the Fieldhouse in beautiful downtown Indianapolis. Indiana led by as many as 13 points in the second quarter before a late Wolves run got them within 6 at the half. But the Pacers then took control in the third quarter, starting with a 23-9 run that essentially put the game away. Tyrese Halliburton came out on fire at the start of both halves and finished with 24 points and 11 assists. The Pacers had 51 points off of their bench, led by 20 from Obi Toppin. He was 6 for 9 on his three-point attempts. TJ McConnell was incredible again. MCCONNELL McConnell. Thank you, Susie.
Fine.
TJ had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Ben Mathurin had 11 points and 6 rebounds off the bench in spite of being in foul trouble. The Pacers, mostly Andrew Nembhard, held Anthony Edwards to 17 points on 7 of 19 shooting. Naz Reid, who's going to be the 6th man of the year in the NBA, led the Wolves with 20 points. Obi Toppin says Andrew Nembhard is the best defensive player in the NBA.
Oh, I felt like we played really good defense in the fourth quarter. Got a lot of stops, moved the ball, and found the open guy.
You struggled a bit defending from three. What did you think of what Drew did defending him today?
Yeah, Drew's the best defensive player in this league, I feel like. He guard any guy any given night. He makes it tough for them. But yeah, I feel like Drew against anybody, Drew got a great chance at stopping him.
So I'm going to get
The Pacers are now 42-29 and in 4th in the Eastern Conference, 2 games ahead of Milwaukee and 2.5 games ahead of Detroit, and now just 2.5 games behind the Knicks for 3rd place. The Pacers are off until Wednesday when they host LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. The Lakers are 43-28 and 4th in the West, but have lost 3 in a row, including back-to-back home games against Milwaukee and Chicago. Lapel Softball enters the season ranked number 1 in Class 2A and opened the season with an 11-3 win over North Central. Tatum Harper drove in 4 runs, and Carly Jannings and Ava Zadansky combined on an 8-hitter in the win, according to Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin. Madison Grant is ranked 10th in Class 2A, and somehow Alexander and Frankton aren't in the top 10. 2A must be loaded. Gibson Southern is number 1 in 3A, a spot ahead of defending champion Western. Leo is 3rd, New Pal 4th, Yorktown 9th, and Hamilton Heights 10th in the preseason 3A poll. Hamilton Southeastern is number 1 in 4A, and Rising Sun is number 1 in Class A. We look ahead to Tuesday's schedule along with the NAIA Women's National Championship, of course. In baseball, 6-17 Bellarmine goes to 13-11 IU. 19-4 Purdue hosts Valpo at 4 o'clock. 16-9 Ball State hosts Southern Indiana, which is 10-13 at 3 o'clock. Anderson looks to improve to 14-7 at home against Danville Community College, which is 3-18. That game's at 4:15 in Anderson. IUK is 8-19 and hosts 5-20 Georgetown at 3 o'clock. And Indiana Wesleyan's home game against IU Southeast has been canceled. In local college softball, Indiana Wesleyan is at Mount Vernon Nazarene for a big conference doubleheader on Tuesday. That starts at 3 o'clock. Indiana Wesleyan is 17-3 overall, 9-1 in the Crossroads, and Mount Vernon Nazarene is 12-7 overall, 5-5 in the conference. Taylor is at home for a conference doubleheader on Tuesday. The 16-6 Trojans host 7-15 Bethel. Taylor is 7-3 in the conference. That doubleheader starts at 4. And 18-8 Ball State is at 9-19 Indiana State at 3. And of course, the NCAA tournament restarts on Thursday with 4 games in the round of 16. It starts Thursday with BYU Alabama and Duke Arizona in the East, and Florida Maryland and Texas Tech Arkansas in the West. Friday features a couple of games at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis, including the Purdue Boilermakers against top seed Houston at 10:10 p.m. That follows Kentucky, Tennessee on TBS. We'll have a Sweet 16 preview later this week with Grant Schaus. And the IHSA boys basketball state finals are Saturday at the Fieldhouse. Class A is at 10:30 and features Clinton Prairie against Orleans, followed by the 2A championship between University and Manchester. The evening session starts at 6 with the 3A championship. That is a couple of high-powered teams in Crispus Attucks and South Bend St. Joe. Then the big one, number 1 unbeaten and defending state champion Fishers against Jeffersonville for the 4A state championship. And of course, we will have previews on all 4 games coming up this week. Multiple, I'm sure. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. Always appreciate it. If you'd like to see us continue to grow and thrive, please share the Central Indiana Sports Report with your friends and family. Thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.